Hello there, racing fans, and welcome back to the channel for another episode in the series. But we're actually back with our very first anti-post selection video of the coming season. We're going to be doing around 10 of these between now and probably around the DRF. We're going to stop at that point because obviously we haven't got long then until the Cheltenham Festival. But the idea is that we're going to have 10 selections by the time we get to that point. And we'll probably drop one every fortnight or so. We might have two at Christmas, for example. And if you've seen myself, Jamie, or Liam put up any anti-post selections anywhere else, suppose you can sort of ignore those. We're going to treat this series as a brand new. Of course, the selections that we put up here, there, and everywhere else are still valid, but as part of this series, it's going to be completely fresh, and then we'll review the selections at the end of the season. I think that is pretty much all of the housekeeping with regards to that. Liam, how's things? You okay?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yeah, looking forward to this. I'm quite excited about my selection. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck in.
Good, mate. Good. Yeah, look, we love a bit of anti-post, don't we? And I'm sure the viewers do as well. So obviously give us a comment below with who you fancy at this point in time. Of course, things do change, but there's plenty of value in the markets at the moment. Jamie, how's things? You okay?
Yeah, I like this kind of thing. Love it.
Yeah,
Had a
this,
good few good ones last year to me. Kopek and Hargeese comes into my head. There was another one I put up. Yeah, it was tough last year, right? It was tougher than previous years, I will say, but a lot of placed horses, so I can't complain.
yeah. Look, but there's
Um,
plenty of value there still.
there is value, yeah. I gotta put a good, I gotta put one on my squad that I want there. That's what I like doing at the start. And then we can go for crazy ones then later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. What's the strategy for you guys? Is it all about timing? Is it all about just prices? What like of what you see right now? Do you try and find your team captain, sort of similar to what Jamie said, and then build from there? Liam, you first, I suppose.
I suppose a couple of different strategies. Just from an anti-post perspective overall, mate. So I would potentially try and build a small book around perhaps like the Turners and the Supreme. I think you have to take a few chances quite far out if you're doing that. And but what I will do, my core strategy will be try and identify between, I don't know, 4 and 7 horses that I'll limp in with at big prices that I think will contract, and then continue to top up and back them with winnings throughout the season. It feels like you're not spending your own money, you're spending the bookies' money. So that's a little bit easier for people to manage financially. And then come the day, you've got a stack of bet slips, and you get all giddy for a few of them. But yeah, for this perspective, mate, I'm looking at markets that I think will collapse and where there's decent value. And as always, trying to find those punchy prices, mate.
Yeah, awesome, mate. It's trying to make sure that the stack doesn't go from that to that very quickly, isn't it? And try, or at least if it does, it's because we've collected some winners along the way. Jamie, what about you? Is it all about timing for you and just what you see right now as a value selection, or you going for your team captain first, or how you playing it?
Oh, it's all about timing. And this one is a replacement for what I've lost my absolute cojones on already because it was my only big anti-post bet. And
Interesting.
you
Okay.
know the name of the horse that it was who I've lost on already, but sure we'll get into that. We'll explain. Yeah, I want the replacement of him.
Yeah,
That's
that's fair enough,
what
mate.
I want.
Yeah. Well, we'll go to you first then in a second, but mine's very similar to the boys. It's all about timing. In a while, I'm not really a book builder, but I do quite like to find horses that can handle. If there's a race where I like two, I like to find a horse that can handle good to soft and good, and then another horse that can handle good to soft and soft. And I feel like there's a few races like that this season where there's sort of two horses you can back in a race and probably be covered. For example, the Champion Chase. I think if you back Marine and Madgeborough for the time being, you're pretty much covered for the day, regardless. Obviously, there's plenty of time between now and then. Things happen, new horses come into the picture, there's injuries and all sorts of the rest of it. But hopefully, we can start off with a few nice selections. Right, Jamie, let's go to you first then with your first selection of the series. And remember, we take this seriously, so we review everything as well. So what happens now might be a positive or a negative in the future. So you either do yourself a favor or you don't. Who have you got?
Uh, I was trying to decide would I go wild here, but after what Willie Mullen said in the stable tour, the horse that actually backed in this race last year for the Stairs Hurdle, and I just like the comments that he said, but I'm going to hold fire on Mystical Power. He said he stopped too quickly in the Stairs Hurdle last year, and he was traveling like the best horse in the race. I won't give up on Mystical Power because I think he's tailor made for a Stairs Hurdle, and hopefully he comes back. but I can't take the chance on him. You have to see him. Possibly might not see him to the Galmoy in Gorham Park in February.
Mm.
It's the end of January, sorry. So I can't take that chance. I'll explain Ballyburn. Ballyburn doesn't stay 3 miles in my book, and you can hear even Ruby Walsh and Patrick Mullins last day. I wouldn't give him up over fences, so that's a massive
Mm.
negative for me. Tiupu, running a lot of what? This is his fourth stairs hurdle. Third and one, second and one. He needs better. I think he needs deep ground, not deep ground, but a soft ground to have any chance of
Yeah,
winning this
yeah.
back. And I think it needs to get to even the depth of soft heavy for him to win.
Mm.
Beaten by Bob Ollinger last year, great ride. Better ground wanted for Bob Ollinger because I didn't think Bob Ollinger could stay. Marisburg's booked in here is ridiculous. Bob Ollinger's 14-1. If you want, he's 11-year-old now next year, isn't it? Wouldn't be for me. But look, we said that about him in the weekend.
Yeah,
Look what
exactly. Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Bob Monitor, look, horses for courses. Never been beaten at Cheltenham. Should have been beaten by Gallopin Champ. That's another story. A lot of people were burnt that day. Now, you look at the market. El Clavel, Woodhue won't go here. Poineros, East India Dock is out. Kawambunga won't be seen. Final Demand, not going here. Kisswell now is interesting. Jimmy Desai, who I would definitely back here if he stayed here, 100% is going to thing. The Browns, Derry has some Paddy's jumping fences. Irish Point has to come back, but I really don't think Irish Point stays 3 miles either. He's stuck in 2.5 man land. Honesty Policy, Salvatore, these all won't run. And then there's a 33-1 Mystical Power. But the one I want, I've taken 14th, but it's now currently 10-1. It's a replacement for Jasmine DeVoe. And I think because he's staying over hurdles, at 10-1 now, best price everywhere is the Yellow Clay for Gordon Elliott.
Mm. Mm.
I think he ran. Look, you people could say Kopek, William Money, Salvatore Mundi in the same race is probably better than the New Lion, the Yellow Clay, and Final Demand. But a lot of people have backed Final Demand for the Browns, the New Lion for the Champion Hurdle, and the Yellow Clay for the Stairs. And I want the Yellow Clay there. He's still value, I think, at 10-1. He's the new kid in the block. It needs fresh blood. One of Lawler's an ace, and it's the way he runs is what I like. He's behind the bridle and he's lazy. And Stairs hurdles should be like winners should be like that. Not keen like Ballyburn.
Yeah, good
Needs
point.
to
Good
be
point.
behind the bridle. Behind the bridle. It's like Bob Ollinger with the head carriage last year was one of the best rides of all time from Rachel Blackmore to get that horse to win over 3 minutes in Cheltenham. But no, I think that was the race of Cheltenham last year. People might not agree with me, but I think it is the best race of Cheltenham last year. The New Line, the Yellow Clay, and Final Demand. I want him in the book, and I think he's still value at 10-1. So my first selection of the whole year is the Yellow Clay.
Yeah, solid, Jamie. I like that a lot, mate. So the Yellow Clay for Jamie at 10-1 in the Stayers Hurdle is selection number 1 for the 2025-26 season. Liam, who is going to be your number 1 selection? I'm really intrigued by this because yours could be anything, absolutely anything.
Regent Stroll for the Gold Cup.
Hold on. Good luck.
Jamie's left the building.
I'm not surprised. I'd kick myself out as well. I was looking at markets initially where you think they're going to collapse, or what markets that are quite weak. And the Gold Cup would be one. We mentioned about Resplendent Grey at a huge price earlier in the week. However, I found a market that's even worse than that. The Arkle market is absolute dog breath. And you've got Kopek de Boers that we haven't seen jump a fence as of yet. It's obviously coming out of novice hurdle division. It took him a while to get his jumping together last year, but obviously he was entitled to improve his jumping as a novice. But he's at the top of the market at 7-2. And a little bit like Jamie, I just want to give a quick rundown from there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Lalamba, who we don't even know if he's going to go chasing. And if he does, it's already been suggested by Nicky he'll need a trip, so I don't have him down as an Arkle horse. He's a ridiculous price. He's not Sergino 2.0 just because he's in the same ownership and training yard. So he's a mad price. Romeo Coolio, I think, needs further. Salvatore Mundi, I don't think likes the track. And then you've got the likes of Amsterdam, William Money, Constitution Hill, Cowabunga, all of which will not turn up here. The latter because I think we won't see him this season. Game of Inches, Irish points in here. You've even got the Yellow Clay priced up shorter than my horse. So I'm going to take on Kopek de Boers. I think he's pretty much the only one to beat at this moment in time. I'm sure more horses could descend into this division, but I'm going to side with the Henry de Bromhead trained mare, July Flower. 33-1 available with all of the Unibet and the Flutter firms. People,
That
I know
was
you.
on about the last night.
It was.
Yeah, because I see her eyes lit up when I said July Flower last night. I was like, what's he thinking July Flower for now?
She's 33-1. I would generally bet win only. One thing I would suggest to people, if you like playing on the exchanges, it will be a fastest finger first, but the price keeps bouncing out to around about 110, 100-1. So if you wanted to play that and you only need a few pounds on in order to have a decent win, obviously at those sort of prices. She was electric over fences on her debut. You'll ask what did she beat? Well, she beat a horse that was rated 130 over hurdles. She won all hands and heels, hard held, and bolted in by 11 lengths. And then people may suggest, well, she needs further. I started looking at some of Henry. Well, first of all, Henry de Bromhead gets improvement, doesn't he, out of a lot of his horses when he sends them chasing. And he's never scared to take on the boys with a decent mare. Muscada previously, albeit that was in handicap company. Honeysuckle, of course, campaigned for years against the boys. The big Westerner was thrown into the Albert Bartlett. And most importantly, put the kettle on, who
I
was the
thought you
winner
were
of
going to say that. Yeah.
was the winner of the Arkle and then followed up the following year in the champion chase. And people may suggest, well, July Flower needs further. I went back and looked at Put the Kettle On. Her 7 appearances prior to the Arkle trial, 6 of them were over the intermediate trip. She ran over 2 mile 4 at Gowran, 2 mile 4 at Kilbeggan, 2 mile 3 at Downpatrick, 2 mile 3.5 at Tipperary, 2 mile 4 at Wexford, 2 mile 4 at Tipperary again before then taking in the Arkle trial. And I think potentially the same thing could happen with July Flower. Now, to put the icing on the cake, following her debut, Henry de Bromhead said the following: she was deadly the other day. We were delighted with her. She jumped brilliantly. She really attacked her fences. It makes me wonder if we were running her over the wrong trip last season. I wouldn't be opposed to dropping her back to 2 miles based on what she did the other day. She could take on the boys next in the Arkle trial at the November meeting at Cheltenham. That will give us a very good guide as to where she is. I think she'll be campaigned as a 2 miler. They'll find out in November if she's good enough. And I think that potentially she can come forward and claiming the £7. I think that she's a right good bet at 33-1 for the Arkle.
Love that. Proper wide shot. What do you think, Jane?
Great show. I like her. I really like her.
Good
I'm
case
very
made as
impressed.
well.
I wanted to steer her into the trim more, but no, it looks like she's. And Henry, and honest, and exactly what Liam said, Henry's not afraid to bring him over for the November meeting. And yeah, bring her onto the Arkle trail.
I think they'll campaign her a little more sparingly as well. Henry had mentioned about her being better the fresher she is. So I think that now that they've kind of got her sussed, we might see a little bit less of her and she'll go into Cheltenham nice and fresh and put it up to Kopek.
Wasn't it, Liam, isn't it? The Arkle trial on Saturday week?
Yes, I think it is on the Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Will it be there or the Drimmore for me, for her? I will back her to beat Romeo Cooley in the Drimmore, yeah. I think she's really good.
Lovely stuff. So the Yellow Clay for Jamie, July Flower for Liam. My first selection, it was between 2, and I'm going to stick. I was going to do a last minute U-turn because Liam's just put one up in the Arkle, but I'm going to stick in the Arkle myself. Again, fairly price dependent at the moment, really. Kopek de Board at 7-2. I'm not interested. Lilambra at 9-2. I think he'll stay hurdling. Romeo Kulu at 10-1. I think it's a brilliant horse. Amsterdam, not going to go here. William Money, not going to go here. I think this is a standout bet for me at the moment in Salvatore Mundi at 14-1 for
one of my horses. Yeah, thanks.
He's a very talented
Could you imagine
horse.
if I said Salvatore Mundi, be like, oh crap.
Yeah, well, it might have done me a favour because then I could have said the other one I fancy in another race. But look, 14-1 to me is absolutely huge. He's obviously a horse that we haven't seen the best of yet. That might not be the case of Romeo Coolio. That might not be the case with Kopek de Board, but Salvatore Mundi only sort of got to his best really when we saw him win at Aintree. And to be honest, he put Romeo Coolio in his place quite easily. Romeo Coolio's 10-1. I don't see why there'd be any issue with Salvatore Mundi jumping a fence. I can't imagine they're going to want to keep him over hurdles as well when they've got State Man and Amsterdam and even a few other sort of thing that could go down the champion hurdle route. So I don't think we're going to see the best of Salvatore Mundi until we see him jump a fence. And I want to take the chance now that he is going to go down that direction. I think he's a better horse than Romeo Coolio, and you guys know what I think of him already. So at a price of 14 to 1, I think if he comes out and wins on debut, he's going to just shoot all the way down to about 4 to 1 second favourite. They're probably only still scratching the surface with this horse, and there's obviously a lot of potential to come. Looking down this market again, it's not very appealing. You can see half of these, well, more than half of these not even running in the race. So 14 to 1 for me looks an absolute steal at the moment. I'd be surprised if he doesn't go off low single figures for the race, whether Kopech's there or not. I don't know how much is between them at the moment, but from 7 to 2 to 14 to 1, there's not 10 points difference in their chances, in my opinion. So for now, Salvatore Mundi at 14 to 1 is my selection in the Arkle. I think he's a pretty good value bet for the time being. Go for it, Jane. Yeah, go for it.
Would you cover him in the champion hurdle if something happened to Amsterdam?
Probably not.
Got State Man as well, haven't they?
Not yet, but
I put it this way, chap. I back him in the champion hurdle because I don't think that Amsterdam is it's not all that he think he is. It's that I don't think he's just
he's fragile, isn't he? He's
so
fragile under that.
And I would be all over Salvatore Mundi in the champion hurdle if you run it.
It's a shame
With
he
a
wins.
proper jockey. The problem is the proper jockey, and the problem is State Man, obviously. That's your chance you take. And he's like, he's still 25, 33 for a champion hurdle. They haven't really 100% committed to defenses, but they have earlier, and they've Frankie. I listened to thinking Frankie.
That's all based into the price, though, isn't it? As well,
it is, of course,
of
course it is. Of course it is. And Frank Hickey said, like you, and it just no. When you're sitting, you're listening to something, and your head comes up, and Frank Hickey goes, I think Salvatore Mundi is the next good thing.
He's a great price. He's a really good price.
Yeah.
And I think ideally as well, James, that like the initial thought would be we want to send him novice chasing. I think that will always be first before deciding, oh, should we keep him for a champion hurdle? Especially like when we said there's State Man Amsterdam. Obviously, Joe Donnelly's got Lou Lambert as well, who's a 4-year-old. If he stays over hurdles, he's either got to go champion hurdle or skip and go to Aintree. So I think Salvatore Mundi is an obvious novice chaser. Novice chaser, sorry, for this season.
I think the Lamb is a big price for the Browns advisory, and no one's saying it.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Tempted to put him up. Or one I should mention, actually, I shouldn't have mentioned when I was explaining the other day. I see a lot of people like that Mashantu, who's now going to the old fixed brush against the horse that Liam said is Joy Mashan.
What for? They like what for what?
That 3-mile handicap hurdle, that Paisley Park one, like for Lavelle.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, okay.
Like a lot of 60-61 for the stairs. A lot of people putting up, but hold on a minute. It's 129 only one after last day. It's 138 now. It'll have to win that really well to be even considered as a stairs hurdle horse.
Yeah.
But there is a weak division in Britain compared to Ireland, so I think they're going to make hay in the sunshine. So I think that's the only danger in that is Mashan Tool go off favourite.
That's interesting.
In Haydock, and then the Cleve hurdle. It'll definitely go to the Cleve hurdle afterwards, but it'll have to go the rest of Haydock first.
Yeah. That's the thing. You've got to go up in there.
A lot of courses better handicap to Mashan Tool in that Haydock race, so hopefully there will be. But no. 60-61, a lot of people say, no, it won't be
interesting to know what Emma Laval says. Obviously, having trained Paisley Park and like the comparison, if she feels like he could maybe go up to
the same kind of route. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, cool, fine. Well, look, plenty of food for thought for the next episode. It can't come quick enough because if my horse gets announced to go one way, the price is going to disappear. So we might get that next episode out sooner rather than later. Anything else to add, gents, or is that a wrap for episode 1 of the Ante-Post series?
It's a wrap from me.
Perfect. Okay, nice one then, gents. And thanks everyone again for tuning in. As I said, this is episode 1 of a series of 10. These are going to be sort of fortnightly. If you'd like to keep up with the selections, please do click like and subscribe. It really does help us out a great deal. Our views are going up, our subscribers are going up, and it's great to know that you're all enjoying the content. So if you can do that, it just helps us out a little bit, and we appreciate you all very much. We've got about 3 or 4 episodes out this week, so there's loads of content for you to catch up on, a bit more to come as well. Again, thanks for everyone tuning in, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.